נעשה לכל אחד ואחד כפי רצונוי, כמו שכתוב פוסח את ידך ומשפיע לכל חי רצון. וכן מישהו בעל נפש צריך לכוון רצונוי שימשיך ברכת שכל ובחינת סיכל את ידו. מקדש השם קוננו ידך, וזה בחינת חסד גבורה תפארת שמלבישן את חוכמה בינה דעת. In this section, Reb Nachman takes us a stage further in the process of Aliyah. He tells us that these hands which are receiving the blessings have to receive blessings of Sechel. There are many, many blessings. God has created a world with multiple opportunities. And as soon as we really get into our tefillah, we will see just how powerful prayer really is. It's one thing when you are disconnected from prayer, when you're half interested or not interested at all, but when you really get into davening, you begin to reveal how many worlds of shefa, how many worlds of blessings of many different kinds there are. And Reb Nachman illustrates this with the verse Posach es yodecha maspir l'chol chai ratzon. What we get out of our davening relates very much to what we want to get. One person is going to go into the life of emunah in order to attain the blessings of olam hazeh, this worldly blessings. But Nachman is urging us to follow this pathway, not to receive the blessings of olam hazeh, but to receive the blessings specifically of sechel. He says in this section that if you are a baal nefesh, if you want to develop and cultivate your soul, what you should seek to get out of this receiving process in the prayer is blessings of sechel. It's not that simple because nobody pays you to get blessings of sechel. Nobody pays you to develop your soul. The benefits we know and we believe are eternal, but there are very often no worldly gains whatever from advancing your knowledge of Torah and developing your understanding of Elokus. Nobody pays anybody for this, and that's why you need to be a Baal Nefesh in order to direct your desire to draw down through your prayers the blessings of Sechel. And we have by Yaakov Avinu the expression of Sechel used in relation to the hands when Joseph brings in Ephraim and Manasseh for their blessings, and Yaakov intentionally switches his hands to put his right hand on the head of Ephraim, the younger child, and his left hand on the head of Manasseh. The Torah there says, Sikel es yodov. Very hard phrase to translate, but basically he injected sechel into his hands. He used sechel, and here is the connection Reb Nachman wants to make for us between the hands receiving the blessings and the sechel which is available to us if we want to take it. And thus it also speaks in the Song of the Red Sea, the temple Hashem that your hands have formed, Mikdash Hashem Kodenu Yodecha. And it's known Kabbalistically that the whole concept of Mikdash refers to the top triad, the triad of Chochmah Bina Das. So here we have the concept of Mikdash Hashem Kodenu Yodecha. It's your hands that establish this Mikdash. The blessings of Sechel of the Mikdash are available through the hands. So here we have the concept, as Reb Nachman, of the middle triangle, the triangle of Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferet, corresponding to the hands, now becoming a levush, a garb, for the top triangle, the triangle of Chochmah, Bina, Das. Now so far, we have been working entirely in the world of Asiyah. What we've started off by taking out the Malchut from its exile among the Klipot, the Malchus of Asiyah, through the performance of the Mitzvah and Simcha. We then lifted the Malchut to become a guard for the bottom triad, Netzach Hod Yesod. We then lifted the legs to become to be connected with the blessings coming down from the hands, so that Netzach Hod Yesod become a guard for Chesed Gevurah Tiferes. Now we're lifting Chesed Gevurah Tiferes to become a guard for Chochmah Bina Das. And now he says, "V'tzorech lahamshich emunah l'soich birkas hasechel ki en l'smoich al hasechel be'atzmoi." You have to now draw down emunah into the blessings of sechel, the blessings of the mind, the intellectual understanding that come through this process of Aliyah, we have to bring into all of this emunah, because you cannot rely upon sechel in itself as is known. Reb Nachman emphasizes this point in many areas. We are not able to grasp God through our rational minds and our intellects. We have to know that any intellectual understandings we may have of levels of Elokut are all useless unless we fill them with emunah, because we're always intrinsically dealing with something which is totally beyond our ability to grasp. No matter how advanced is our understanding of some Kabbalistic level, intrinsically, since it is a level of Elokus, it is intrinsically has the quality of Ein Sofiyut, of infinity, that is beyond the grasp of the Sechel. And if we try to enter that realm, as Reb Nachman emphasizes in countless places, we are going to be seriously pulled off course, and therefore we have to put our main trust in emunah, in faith, in saying to ourselves, I don't understand it, but whatever the Arizal thought and whatever the Rabbi Shimon thought, that's what I'm going to go with. And I believe in them in the way that they followed this pathway. That is emunah and the Chachamim who brought down to us this wisdom. Reb Nachman says you have to draw emunah into the blessings of the sechel. You cannot rely on sechel, on mind and intellect alone. And this is the concept in the verse in Mishlei, Proverbs chapter 28. Ish emunah is rav brachos. Who is the one who is full of brachos? The man who has faith. It's the man of faith who is the source of all the blessings. This verse illustrates how the blessings have to be bound up with emunah. And in the verse which I quoted earlier, Reb Nachman now brings it here in the Torah, by Yodav emunah, by Moshe Rabbeinu in the war against Amalek. The Torah says that his hands were emunah. In other words, the blessings that were in his hands, he had to bind them to emunah. Like it says in the book of Samuel, V'kama b'yodecha mamlechas Yisrael, they say to David, it will be in your hand. It's Jonathan talking to David. In your hand will be the kingship of Israel. It's known that the concept of kingship of Malchut is the concept of emunah. Namely, that we must draw emunah into the blessing of the hands. And we have the verse in the book of Samuel, chapter 2. God says, "Uvanisi li bayis nemon," I shall bring a faithful house. And this is the concept of the verse in Psalms, and munos kal kedoshim, your faith is in the assembly of the holy ones. Here we have the concept of emunah coming into contact with the kahal kedoshim, that is chokhmah bino das. As I said before, kodesh alludes to the top triad, chokhmah bino das. Kodesh, that is the level of the mind and the brain. And here we have, speaking Kabbalistically, the concept of now how Malchus of Yetzirah becomes Chochmah Bino Das of Asiyah. We've already risen to the level of Chochmah Bino Das of Asiyah. We have to go a level above. We have to discover what's interior to these high levels of Chochmah Bino Das of Asiyah. We have to understand that what is vitalizing and animating those levels is precisely Malchus of the world above Asiyah, namely Malchus of Yetzirah. So now we've gone the whole gamut. We started off with Malchus of Asiyah in its Golus. We took it out. Well, likewise, in a certain sense, Malchus of Yetzirah is in a certain, dare we call it a Golus? The fact is that Malchus of Yetzirah, the bottom level of the world of Yetzirah, is itself the source of the top levels of Asiyah, and now we have to lift up the top levels of Asiyah to the bottom level of Yetzirah, and this is our act of faith. On every, in the tree of the Sfirot, the mystery is, number one,